Is that Sanford and Son?
Yo, Sonic did it. Yo, what is going on, people? It is Saturday night, and next podcast is live. I just want to welcome everybody who tune in on time to this channel. I know it takes a while for people to get in, so why don't we help them out and slap that thumbs up button and post this link out on your favorite social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, which I still think exists, and we'll get a bunch of people in here. But guys, this is going to be a really, really fun show. I will let you know, for some rhyme or reason, I think he is out there getting a hydro foot massage, but K-Mega will not be able to join us tonight. So huge shout out to our brother K-Mega. Hopefully, he gets his toes nice and soft like he likes. But the show must go on, and guys, we have a special guest, so I'm going to get into the intros. Introducing, for the first time on Next Podcast, the man who brought Yoshida to our gaming community, none other than Super Sonic!
Thank you so much, Xbot. It's good to be here from my studio. I traveled a long way to be here. It's a very big honor to be here today. Thank you so much.
No problem. So we are going to get down to it, and you're going to
No Man's Sky.
You're going to let the gaming community how many things, you're going to let them know how many things you love about Xbox. It's going to be, we're talking all Xbox today, man. I told you that in the DM. You said you're down, so I can't wait to get into the topics with you, dude.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. Well, next on the list, coming fresh off of his birthday vacation, everybody, get up, put your hands together for the birthday man himself, Predator!
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back. Missed last week. I was under the influence of alcohol all week long. So,
is it slightly, or do you just not remember what happened?
I remember what happened. I just remember, bits and pieces of it. And putting the pieces of those stories together. So, glad to be back, man. So, let's go. Let's get it going.
You definitely picked a good week to come back, man. We got so many things to talk about. I was looking at the topics. After I typed them all out, I was like, damn, there's like 7 topics like that. Do you think we're going to get through them all tonight, man?
No, because I'm putting the timer out for 2 hours.
Oh, Snap in the chat said talk Xbot to get an Oculus Rift. Do it, Xbot.
Oh, no. She just ordered like a $30 keyboard, though. Like, she already spent, over $1,000 on the PC. Then can we get a little breather in between the spending?
That's okay. Show her how much you love her and just get one.
Oh, this is not cool. I am already outnumbered. Let me go next on the list. He is under the weather today, but in all reality, aren't we all? I am talking about the man who has saved the world over 227 times. Dark Optimus.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah, not feeling good today. I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm like sick and I have no idea what I'm gonna say. But I couldn't save the world for 220 times or whatever. I got a call and they were like, "Hey, you need to save the world," and I was like, "No, I'm sick." But yeah, I'm happy to be here and ready to get into these topics, dude.
Hold on, so you turned down saving the world, but you're on the show, man. That's dedication right there. I appreciate.
Well, sometimes you can't save them all,
Yeah, maybe K-Mega is trying to take your job right now, which is why he's not here. Huh.
Maybe I paid him to take my job because I'm sick.
Maybe he paid you so he could take your job. Double twist.
I think that's exactly what happened.
Double twist. Yeah. All right, let's go. Next on the list, of course, he is that developer in the community that the community loves. He does have that secret super fan out there. I know your lights are flickering because, guys, it is time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring. The Don.
Here I am, rocking it like a hurricane. Let's go.
Yo, dude, I don't think we could top that. I think we should just end the show right now. Like, we're not going to get any better than that, man.
I love the Scorpions. That's my favorite band.
Oh, no. Well, guys, as you can see from the gameplay you're checking out right now, you got the diamonds falling and everything like that. So that means, of course, the Don has won gameplay from last week. Just to let you guys know, this is the podcast that you can vote for your favorite gameplay. The Don won't be in it because he already won last week. Do you hear me, Crap Gamer?
You can make your feelings known, though, just underneath. Just let them know how you feel about me not being there.
All right. And just to let you know, like I said, we vote for the best gameplay, and tonight it's going to be between Predator, myself, and the Angry Otter. So, guys, if you're watching on YouTube,
not even competition.
I'm voting for K Mega.
I just hope that the other two, because I think I will win. The other two, I hope you're just, it's an honor just being nominated type thing. We're gonna go soap opera awards here.
We all know Fred's gonna win, so I don't even know why you're.
Goodness. See, I demand a recall because back when we first started this, I used to win week after week. What happened, man?
You started playing Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. He started to play Destiny, and it was like,
what is this game?
What Destiny clip? I'm telling you, you're not gonna win.
This game right here, that's Bulletstorm, I believe. Right, Don?
Mel says your mic sounds like poop.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I can fix that. Let me see. Is it let me see.
This is Bulletstorm. This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Don, is that Bulletstorm?
You are correct. That is Bulletstorm.
Right,
I'm voting for Don. Case closed.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go in, and I think I lowered it a little bit. I think what was happening is it was hitting the red, in terms of volume, and you don't want to hear me that loud. So I lowered it a little bit. If my mic sounds better, please in the chat let me know. But we got to get to the first topic, and of course we're gonna address one of the two gorillas in the room. Now I'm gonna save the other one for a little bit later, but the first one I want to talk about, of course, is inside Xbox at Gamescom, which we just saw. I believe it was this past Tuesday. Tuesday, because Don, me and you did a live stream on it as well. So.
Oh yeah, that did surprisingly well.
Yeah. I mean, I did see your DMs. How you said it was all about you. You brought the masses into that live stream. And
nothing like that at all. People don't know who I am. I don't understand where you're getting this.
All right, so check this out. I want to go to our guests first. Now, Supersonic, did you check out the Inside Xbox at Gamescom?
No, all I did is look on Twitter and everyone said it sucks. So I didn't watch it. I just skipped it.
All right,
but
so did you get any news, the controllers, PUBG coming out on September 4th? Did you get all the news that they were talking about with that?
Did they really show off more controllers? Please tell me they didn't do that.
They showed the PUBG controller, which of course, Snaps was like, I need that in my life. But they showed that controller. They're putting the Fade controller and the Camo controller into Design Lab. But they also announced Hunt. Hunt Showdown is coming to Xbox Game Preview. The release date for PUBG coming out official version 1.0 on September 4th. They announced DayZ coming in August 29th. I believe to Game Preview. I'm not sure. I think it's Game Preview. But so you didn't even get caught up on all the news? No,
well, after you saying all that, I'm glad I didn't watch it. But I am excited that Supermassive game is multi-plat now. I think they announced that on there. So I'm a big fan of Until Dawn. That's on the PlayStation. So I'm super happy they went multi-plat. It's going to be on Xbox and PC. So I think that part was awesome.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Supermassive, they're planning on, was it 2 games per year? I think that's the deal. They have the publisher Bandai Namco, so they're working under Bandai, and yeah, their games are coming out. They're the Until Dawn-esque kind of like horror, but it is multi-plat. So you're excited about that?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, there's going to be different scenarios for each one. Like this first one, it's like a haunted sinker tank thing under the ocean.
Yeah, something about bringing treasures up that have spirits attached to them or something like that. I watched a couple of the trailers and kind of like the interviews and stuff. I mean, me myself, I'm not like you. You know, when it comes to Until Dawn, I would give it 2 different scores: a score as an experience and a score as a game. So, but I'm glad you're excited about that. But I am gonna move on to the next person since you didn't actually watch it, man. But we will get back to you, Sonic. Let's go
Wait,
to
did Phil have his? Did Major Nelson bring out his white gloves?
He did to jump into a McLaren.
Okay.
He had his
Next.
gloves on as he was getting
He
out.
also did it to hold an X
Really? Which,
that was still in the box.
see
Is he
now.
like a germaphobe or something?
No, now it's just a gimmick. Now he's just running with it now, man. But well, let's go to the Don because I do know that he at least watched half of it. Don, inside Xbox Gamescom, give me your general thoughts. What did you think about the show, man?
I think it really sets the tone what you expect from Inside Xbox at this point. It's just going to be smaller announcements. I mean, this is the one time you would do a bigger announcements, and they're not going to do that there. They're just going to do some smaller stuff here and there and kind of keep people in the loop. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's for their core audience. I would say it's just for the casuals that don't really have anywhere to go to obtain information on the latest games on their platform.
See, that's where I would kind of I would disagree with you on the fact of it's not for their core audience because I thought the whole kind of show really catered to people who already have an Xbox. You know, people who have been in game preview when it comes to PUBG, people who have heard, excuse me, the announcements for DayZ eventually coming to console and coming to Xbox. So. Like I really feel like it was catered to people who are already engaged in the Xbox platform.
But I don't think that's not. I don't think that's like the core, like the ones that will speak their voice out there, sort of thing. They're just people are like, oh, what's on Xbox? Oh, here you go. This is what's going on, and here's something maybe you might look forward to. I just don't think it's the people that don't talk about games, outside of occasionally buying one and playing it. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, with the announcements that were said, did you like what they brought to the table? Now you kind of explained what you think the conference or the show was, but did you like what they brought there? The announcements that were there, the controllers, the games, like what did you think, man?
And as I said, like I don't think everything is for everybody. So like certain things, like I enjoyed the Hunt Showdown. I'm happy to see that come to Xbox. I think that's a big win for Xbox there. And that's a game preview game if I remember correctly. And then just little smaller announcements were okay, cool. They have stuff going on and kind of keeps you in the loop of what Gamescom's all about this year. I wasn't overly excited or anything like that, and I wasn't overly like overwhelmed with anything they showed off. It's just some random stuff here and there.
Dude, they you know that because you were with me. They had me at the first announcement, man.
And that's Hunt's Showdown, right?
Yeah. They started off the show, in my opinion, because my I guess you could say expectations were low, seeing what they showed, last year at Gamescom and everything like that. So when they came out and said Hunt Showdown, dude, I went nuts. But since we're talking Hunt Showdown, let's move over to Predator. Yo, Pred, did you get a chance to check out Inside Xbox, man, or were you still hungover? Let me know, man.
I watched bits and pieces of it. I was kind of in and out at work, but I probably caught about 85% of the show. So I basically watched most of it. A lot of it was fluff, so I walked away. So, but yeah, I did watch it.
All right. Well, what did you think out of what you saw? I know you gotta be impressed with kind of like the Hunt Showdown announcement. What did you think about what they announced there? Was this a quality Inside Xbox? Was this a quality Gamescom kind of like show in your opinion, man?
From all the other Inside Xboxes, it seemed to kind of follow suit with those. I thought maybe because they were doing it at Gamescom, we would have gotten a little bit more information, but it was just another Inside Xbox show. They could have done that show any day of the year, and it would have been the same. It just happened to be during Gamescom, so there was really nothing super exciting except for maybe Hunt Showdown that came out. we had a lot of like little predictions / leaks come out prior to it,
and
but
none were true.
none of them were
None
true.
were
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And so like I think our hype level was a little high because of the information we got prior to the show, and we kind of like, and we did this at ED3. We talked about this before in the past. Like we get hyped up over stuff, rumors, leaks, stuff like that, and we're expecting to see it. When it doesn't show up, we feel like we got let down. And I've taken the approach in the past couple of years to go in there with the knowledge of the leaks, but with the expectations of nothing. That way, when everything's done, like said and done, I can base my opinion off of what actually was shown and not base it off of what I thought was going to be shown. It didn't get shown.
Well, and that's what I did this year. And like I said, I went in with kind of like low expectations. And that first announcement, I was already like more than pleased when they talked about Hunt coming to game preview. Man.
Yeah, see, I missed that part. I saw it like pop up in Twitter, and I remember we were talking about this. I guess when I started playing it a while back, like this is a perfect preview program game, and I'm glad they actually got it. And where I was talking with Boom yesterday on his podcast, and we were discussing this a little bit, and I kind of said, maybe that relationship with Crytek has gotten better, because that might be the opening doors for us to get another Rise or something like that, based off of how this game does. I think my biggest takeaway from it was what wasn't shown. I really expected to see some Crackdown 3 here, and I didn't see that at all. I didn't see it unless it showed up. I don't remember seeing it.
There was nothing about that.
There was no talk about it, and that game comes out here in the beginning of the year. I know there's been some rumors about another event, but I don't know if they're going to do that or not. So I felt like they should have at least discussed Crackdown here at this event, and they didn't do that. So it actually has me a little concerned about the game right now.
When it comes to Crackdown, like at first I thought people were making a big deal out of nothing, but I think it was Adamus out on Twitter. I forget who it was, but somebody said, this is the biggest conference before the game is supposed to release in February, so you would think that they would have something about Crackdown.
That was definitely not me.
No, that wasn't you. Man, see, and I was gonna give you credit too, but when it's brought to a point like that's when I start scratching my head. Like, do you personally think like the game's in trouble? Do you think it's gonna release like in February, like they said, man?
It's almost like they're gonna release it and they just want to get it out.
Quietly.
Like let's just drop it and get this shit out. Just because it's been such a headache.
Do you think it maybe lends to the possibility of the show that everyone keeps talking about might be a reality, and that's what they're saving it for?
Possibly, but if the show if they were going to have a show like that, you think they would have announced it already, though? Right?
I don't know. Like, I don't know the truth. I keep hearing about it too from other sources, so it is strange that I keep hearing about it. As far as that goes, I'm not invested in one way or the other. It's just strange. It keeps coming up.
Shout out to crazy Greek dude who said they got the Game Awards show to show.
Yeah, that's one of them too. Yeah, so you got Game Awards, which is your last hurrah. I think what it did. That's in that one where we saw Sea of Thieves release date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could be using that as a jumping off point. I just don't know what their game plan is. It's strange, right?
Well,
at best.
This is what I think with Crackdown, and anybody on the panel can chime in. But I think with the game going into Game Pass, I think it is a case of, even if we have to kind of like do a silent release, not really like show too much and just get it out there and have it live kind of like in Game Pass and stuff like that. I think they're ready to do something like that with this title and just get it off their books as, a pending title, a game that's coming. And does anybody see that? Anybody agree that that's what they might do?
I'd be surprised. I mean, this is like, they put a lot of money into this game, and for them to not even discuss it at this point, because obviously they want to recoup it. I don't think they're going to do like advertising for it. They haven't really done that for any other games this generation. But to not even like bring it to Gamescom, like, I don't know, man. I'm, and I know they said they won't delay it anymore, but it's almost like it's leading up to me thinking that they're going to delay it again.
Here's the thing. A lot of people, we're on YouTube. We come together, every week for this podcast. Everybody on this panel has been guests on various shows. A lot of things, like when it comes to shows around these conferences, people are always looking for surprises. And in my opinion, when it comes to Inside Xbox, to me, they had surprises. The release date for PUBG was a surprise for me. DayZ coming in at the end of this month in game preview was a surprise to me. Hunt Showdown was a surprise to me. So, guys, I got to ask you, people talk about, surprise me, tell me something I don't know and stuff like that. Do you think that this show, even if they were smaller in some people's opinions, do you think that they lived up to a level of let's surprise the gamer on what's coming to the platform? Anybody?
I think it's fine. I think it gives them an opportunity to showcase stuff when they need to. Of course, they haven't really done that yet, but the platform is there. I mean, if I'll probably tune in every month just to check in, just to see what it is. But it's good that they have that platform, and then they don't have to do a huge thing like Sony does.
I got you. Anybody else? Do you guys think like they lived up to a surprise type thing when it comes to a conference? Because I feel like they did, even though people out there are saying these are smaller announcements. These are announcements I didn't expect.
It really wasn't a conference, though. It was just an Inside Xbox.
It was a show at a conference.
Yeah, it was just more of a location thing than anything else. So I think once you frame it that way, you're just like, oh, it wasn't too bad. But if you think of it as a conference, then you're going to be disappointed because it's not those conference-like type announcements that moves the industry. These are just little things for the people that bought the box.
Yep. Like I said earlier, if they could have put this show 2 weeks ago and it would have been just Inside Xbox. It was the same show.
Exactly.
It was just happened to be during Gamescom, and I think that's where everybody kind of gets confused. But I guess there was a surprise if you look at it that way, like the controller, and if you went in there blind, basically, and not had listened to anything about any of the rumors and stuff like that, you would have kind of been happy about Hunt Showdown, I guess they have a new console, custom console with the gold trim, whatever the fuck that was, a new controller, a couple other games they talked about. But I mean, if you went in with that aspect of it and you took it and just said that was going to be Inside Xbox and it wasn't during Gamescom, you might have been happy. But because it was during Gamescom, I think people were expecting a little bit more than what they showed.
I got you. I do have another question when it comes to Gamescom. Now, they talked about a couple titles going to game preview. And
wait, did Bot just show off a spawn kill?
What? No.
You just showed up a spawn kill on your gameplay.
Everyone's tuned out from watching this shit.
They actually have to go
I want everybody...
That is not a spawn point.
Okay? I'm changing my vote.
I want everybody to tweet out that Bot spawn kills.
That wasn't a spawn kill, man.
No, spawn kill. He shows up out of nowhere.
It's way up the hill to the left. All right, they were just coming in. They were coming in like they were spawning there, and I was just taking them out.
Man, the poor man is making himself a homie.
Man.
But just take the L.
No, there's no L there. There is no L. That was not. Those were not spawn kills. I am in Iron Banner in this gameplay, and guess what? By the way, this gameplay is hot. Not only that, there was Dandara, starting it off.
This is multiplayer.
Why are you explaining the gameplay?
You play this every week.
Oh man.
That's one thing I don't like about Destiny is when someone spawn kills me, you get deducted
There's no
points.
spawn kill. There was no spawn kill.
Hey, listen here. When you guys want to do the gameplay vote, if you think Bot spawn killed, vote for either Pred or Otter. That's all I gotta say, and then just let them know in the chat below it was a spawn kill.
You can always rewind it right now and look if you didn't.
Shout out to O Snaps in the super chat. She said spawn kill fraud. Guys, what the Don is trying to do here.
I like the one where she says X fraud 448.
Hey, I have no skin in this game. My vote's not going up.
Yeah, I know, and you're just trying. You're trying to.
You need to change your name from Xbot to BungieBot.
Oh wow! I played more than just this game, and wait, I got Power Star Golf at the end of this as well. So stay tuned for that. But
Well, like I said, you have Destiny in the clip.
Yo, Power Star Golf is
Again.
a
You got an
great
exotic
game.
for a spawn kill?
It's a great game. Look, I'm eating the
Oh,
popcorn.
I love that. I love that dancing on it too. That's wonderful.
Guys, but when it comes to game preview, I know a lot of people, you know, in recent history has complained about game preview. You know, games like We Happy Few and stuff like that seem to be met kind of like mediocre-ish when it comes to, you know, gamers getting excited for these games and stuff. I gotta ask you, with DayZ coming, and I'm gonna go to Optimus first. DayZ going into game preview, Hunt Showdown going into game preview. Do you think that these types of games might change kind of like some of the people's opinions out there that, you know, game preview is a legitimate thing? I know they've been doing it on PC for a while, but, you know, when it comes to Steam, and anybody and their brother can put a game into game preview on Steam. There's more regulations when it comes to Xbox. Do you think these games will give that game preview a little bit of a jolt or a bump?
I think PUBG already did that.
Okay.
I think, you know, the only game I really have any interest in is Hunt Showdown.
But it's
The other
gotta
one,
be pretty big interest though, right?
yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing with DayZ. It's like I don't really like it
Hold
because
on,
it,
look at that.
it seems too much like.
Don is playing Destiny 2 right now. He is
Oh, I
in
see
the
what you're trying to do. That's how you're
gameplay.
trying to get the
What?
vote.
What?
Trying to see is put my name in there.
He is
What is
in
this madness?
he is
See,
in the gameplay
Is that
right now. People.
is that Don?
Yeah,
Is that Don? That is
Bot's riding
Don.
on my coattails is what he's doing right now.
Oh shoot, that's great. That's funny.
Yeah, it was the most boring hour of my life.
Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
I bet.
When he left, he had a smile on his face and he was trying to hide it. And let's just
So,
I
tell us
I don't know,
how
man.
you really feel. Are you back into it now? Do you feel the Bungie groove?
I'm trying.
I'm trying.
It's taking effort. I'm going to be honest with you.
But all right, so you said that PUBG already gave that, you know, that bump to game preview. So
Yeah.
you're interested in Hunt Showdown, and that's about it.
I think Hunt Showdown will definitely, you know, give game preview a bump. I don't think DayZ will, only for the simple fact that I think a lot of people who watched it online and people streaming it said the same thing that I said. It looks too much like PUBG. And that's kind of the problem. I think, you know, Hunt Showdown really shows off like something different. You know, you don't see a game like that come out very often. And when Pred was playing it and he showed his gameplay of it, it was like, wow, dude, like this looks awesome. I kind of want to try this out, just play it, you know. And to find out that it's coming to game preview, I was like, sweet, awesome. Now I can actually try it out.
Nice. Now, Pred, like you've played this game on PC. Do you think this game, and I don't know if you've played DayZ or not. It's been around for a while on PC. Do you think that this is just a couple games that's going to build up game preview more in terms of the gaming community as a credible place to, you know, try out these games and get in there early and help kind of like develop them, man?
Yeah, I do, especially if they're discounted like they have been, usually a little bit half price if you get in early. Like I remember you guys were playing was it Friday the 13th? Was that in preview program? Or was that what was the game you guys were playing?
It should have been a preview program, but it wasn't.
There's another game you guys were playing that you were really hyped on, and they came back and they took away a bunch of shit you're pissed off about. I don't remember what it was. I thought maybe I'm thinking it was Friday the 13th. But games like that you're like on the fence about picking up, I think this is great for that. And there's a lot of games I wish would have gone in preview program, like No Man's Sky, that might have triggered me to kind of get it, but it came out on PS4 first. And some of these games like shit, what was the one we were just talking about? Jesus Christ, drawing a blank. We Happy Few is in there, and the one you were just discussing that looks like PUBG.
DayZ.
DayZ, Jesus, I'm about to say Horizon Zero Dawn. DayZ.
Do you say DayZ Jesus?
Was that
DayZ Jesus?
That's
a thing?
That doesn't work.
DayZ
That doesn't
Jesus.
work.
Okay. All right.
but I watched some DayZ gameplay. I didn't play it on PC. I tried to get into it on when it came out on PlayStation 4. It just was not my bag. I was not interested in that game whatsoever. And maybe it was because I played PUBG first. Maybe had I played DayZ first, I would have gotten a different appreciation for the game. It just wasn't for me. But like Hunt Showdown's perfect game for that. I'm enjoying that game, and I got some gameplay footage of it today, so you guys will get to see it again. But it's perfect, especially like at the price. If they come in with a $29.99 price, it's great. Instead of just having a brand new release with a game, some people are like, especially now with all the games coming out between now and March, you're kind of pinching your wallet a little bit, and if you can save a buck here and there, this is perfect. Because I think if it came out, let's say Hunt Showdown came out between now and March, it might get passed up. At a $60 price, people may not play it. Where now it's like 30, it might be like, okay, I'll fuck with it. So some games it can boost it a little bit, but it depends on the game. Not everything seems to go in game preview. But I think like We Happy Few did pretty well in there in the beginning. And Hunt Showdown, I think, will do well. PUBG was amazing.
With We Happy Few, this is where game preview really worked out, because the game went out there, people picked it up, people played it, and people were like, you know what, we're not feeling this whole structure. So now the game that released is a lot different than the game that was originally put into game preview, and I think that is another aspect as well. I got to give a shout out to a sponsor and moderator for this show, for this channel, Brian Baker. He said this mother effer is using a cutscene. Guys, if you notice, there's no name in the top right hand corner. I'm just giving a special shout out to Cade 6 because he is a character in Destiny 2, most popular character, and he is going away, people. He is gonna.
Yeah, dude, you're definitely not gonna win this gameplay.
448.
I want to change this question up for the next two people. So I'm gonna hit up Supersonic here. When it comes to game preview, it seems that Xbox, because they are the only console that has a game preview program, they're using this program to kind of tout, console exclusive games. You look at PUBG, which we're going to talk about, its release date in a little bit and when it might go to other consoles. You look at, Hunt Showdown going into game preview. PlayStation doesn't have a system or a service like that, so they can say, console exclusive, console launch exclusive. I got to ask you, man, Sonic, what do you think about them using this to kind of tout these games as like a console launch exclusive or whatnot?
I don't know. If people want to beta test games for us, then it's your right. I don't buy anything from the preview program. I think I game shared We Happy Few, and then they released it, and now I don't have access to it, so I'm not a big fan of preview.
Oh, all right. Well, let's just move on to the Don, man. Don, you are a developer. There is this option when it comes to Xbox. You can put your game in game preview, and it looks like Xbox will kind of use that to say, console launch exclusive or whatnot. How would you feel about that, man?
That's just marketing. I mean, that's their job, right? They're trying to always lever whatever their advantage is, and this goes with PlayStation as well. Like, anyone has an advantage in a particular area, you're going to advertise that. And Microsoft went out of their way to create a preview program for the console space, right? So, they're entitled to that. If anyone would have an issue is possibly the person that's making the game, but then again, they want the attention so they can sell their software. So I don't see any disadvantage to that. They're not being disingenuous and saying that like it's not coming to other platforms or anything like that.
I think it's really slick. Like in terms of marketing, if you put on your business hat or whatever, if you have this option here, you have this service that you're the competitors within your space don't have. I mean, why not use it to your advantage like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're competing, right? So if you're competing, you need to advertise something that's unique about your product. Mm-hmm. And basically, a game preview program is unique in the console space compared to, you don't really see that with Nintendo. You don't see that with Sony. that's something unique to Xbox. And they're very selective of what they put in the game preview program as well. So, there's a little bit of that. And I think, honestly, a lot of times some of those developers get a little help as well when they're in the game preview program. I'm hearing a lot about that, where they're kind of just helping them along the lines and how to process the data and where they're having issues, and just really sending their team in to help.
Games like PUBG, where they really put out the advertising and stuff like that was going to game preview. I know we've heard behind the scenes that Microsoft, they have helped the development of the console version, and they've also put some money down from what I hear as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think PUBG is the exception, not the rule, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a unique game where it's incredibly popular as far as that stuff goes. But, other games that go in the preview program, before We Happy Few was bought out by Microsoft, the whatever development team was that does that, they were getting a lot of help as well. So, they tend to give a lot of help. I think the PUBG level of things, though, is
the rarity. Yeah,
that's not the norm. I mean, if you sign up for a game preview program and you get approved as a developer, I don't think anyone expects that same level of support that PUBG received.
That'd be funny if they did. It's like, yo, Phil, what's going on? Where's the money? Where's the developers? We need help here. You'd be like, nah, dude.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Basically what you're using is the public is a beta program to see where the game's broken and go for that, because usually there are smaller teams that can't afford staff for testing. Is usually what it really boils down to. You have to have people play test your stuff day in, day out, and the best way to get a big sample size is basically put it out there in the public. And Steam does this obviously as well with their game preview program. I forget what they call theirs, but I think it's early access or something like that. But it's the same idea. I mean, there's a bigger populace out there. You can utilize them, and that's way more advantageous to the development team.
All right. Well, here's the deal. You said that PUBG is the exception, so why not just dive into PUBG is releasing version 1.0 September 4th. It's coming with war mode. It's coming with a couple extra modes. They say more improvements to the gameplay, the mechanics, and whatnot. Let's go to Predator. Predator, do you think that they have finally nailed this game down now in terms of improvements, to the mechanics and everything? Do you think that PUBG is ready to be launched out as an official game launch, man?
No, man. When I played the preview on PC, they were leaps and bounds ahead of where the Xbox version is when they came out with the 1.0 release. It maybe it's because it probably is because it's on PC, but it just looks so much smoother and it ran so much better on PC.
Have you played the Xbox version lately?
Yeah, I actually fired it up when I said, let me see how this game looks. It looks a little bit better.
This can't be ready, bro.
No, it's not, man. It's I'm like, oh, come on. Because okay, let's put it this way. So at the release before the 1.0 release on PC, there wasn't much of a difference, right? From what I was getting in the preview and what they gave us at the 1.0 release. I'm looking at the Xbox version where it is right now. There's going to have to be there's going to have to be a fucking huge patch to get it to that the 1.0 was on PC from where it is now. It still looks like shit. And that's just the looks. Like the gameplay mechanics, I think they changed some stuff with the controllers a little bit. They make it a little bit more movable. But
I will let you know, in my opinion, I streamed it yesterday, and I played it, I think, the day before with, O-Snaps and, of course, Eevee out there. And I will say, I think it plays a lot smoother than what it did, and I do like the addition with the weather. Like, now it will rain on the maps. You'll have fog roll in and burn off and stuff like that. So it's more enjoyable to me now. It feels like a newer game in my opinion. So, whatever patch they do come out with, I hope it just doesn't break it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's been happening. Like every time they come out with a patch, it fixes one thing, but breaks another. So now they're going to come out with the full version release of this game, so you should be expecting it to run at what 4K 30. I think that's what they were targeting before. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna wait and see. But if I had to guess right now, it's gonna need some more patching after it comes out.
Now
That's what happened with the Division. Every time they released a patch, it would break like 20 other things in the game.
Well, Sonic, I know you've gone in at least a couple times, with me, Snaps, basically crawling across the street for whatever reason. But
Yes, sir.
do you think that PUBG might be ready to launch, man?
No way in hell. I'm kind of worried for them because now you got the big boys coming in, EA and Activision with Call of Duty and Battlefield releasing their versions. And it's been so long since this game has been on PC and in preview program. And you got Fortnite running smooth, and this game's still messed up. There's no excuse
Sonic,
for it,
when
man.
was the last time you played PUBG, man? Can you remember? Or has it been a while?
Long time ago.
Long time ago?
People stream it and crap, but I haven't played it for a long time.
All right. Well,
Like if I go, that's my problem with preview program. If I go in a game, I shouldn't have this mindset that it's finished or anything, but at least playable. But when I go into a preview game and it's all glitchy and not working and crashes, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I just don't go back to it.
I got you, and I will say, like, I will let you guys know honestly my experiences, and I feel like the game is a lot more stable now than, like, say a few months ago. But again, that's my experience. I'm excited. Supersonic, are you excited or at least intrigued to see the different game modes and stuff when it comes out on the 4th?
I'd have to say no, not at all. I just don't. I don't like battle royale. I'm not a battle royale dude.
So basically, he's the wrong person to ask right now.
I'm just getting battle royaled out. Like, I don't know. I know some people absolutely, like millions of people, absolutely love it, but it's just not my bag.
Well, I got one more question, and it's not necessarily for you, but quite possibly Yoshida. With this game launching on the 4th, does Yoshida have a timetable on when it's going to come to PS4?
January 1st, 10 out of 10. Only on Sony's station.
And of course, it's going to do better there, right?
Yes, pre-order for Gordo. Of course, it'll be better on Sony. Are you being ridiculous right now?
Oh my god!
Come on, I swear, God, I'm gonna come on my studio and smack you, just like Sean Murray.
I think the Don might want to chime in on here. Now, Don, you are known, at least within a small part of the gaming community, as the troll of PUBG. But I gotta ask you, man. You are a developer. You run people over constantly, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just keep the car running.
Yeah. Now, Don, developer-wise, using what you have learned in using kind of like your craft, do you think that PUBG is ready to be launched, September 4th, man?
It's hard to say. I think a lot of times in the game development process, things get worse right before they get better. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Like, everything kind of comes to a head as far as that goes. And it's hard to tell if that's really what's going on with PUBG or not, because I
think we've come over that hill, though. I think we got over that hump, man.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing, is I don't know. I don't know what they want to add to the game, what issues they're having. I'm not privileged to those sort of meetings, if you know what I mean.
Why not, sir? They should let you in all of those meetings, man.
But as far as that's concerned, it could be very well that. I mean, you guys see it in the preview program all the time, right? How often is the preview program an absolute crap, and then about the week before it goes live to the general public, all of a sudden it works? You're like, how the hell did that happen, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean that has happened in the preview program. Those who have experienced the preview program know what I'm talking about when I'm saying that. And so it's the same sort of thing here. So the question is, are they at that that hedge where they're seeing all the things that are wrong and they're ironing everything out, and it's really they feel like it's going to be ready for release. Now, technically, a traditional studio will give you a release date when they have a roadmap of every bug, every problem they see with the game, and so they feel like they can predict when they're going to have all that stuff ironed out, like a time stable. So to be that close and for them to say, it's just really hard to say. There, I guess what I'm bringing up is the X factors that most people just don't realize, and those could be part of what's going on here. So we'll see. I mean, I want there to be a polish experience when it comes to PUBG, and the game has to be finished sometime, but I just don't know what they have on the docket and what the roadmap is as far as bug testing goes.
Well, Don, when it comes to this game, now correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's been kind of like a little while since you've been in and playing PUBG as well. Am I right? It's been a while.
Sorry, what's that?
It's been a while since you've played PUBG. Am I right?
Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, that is correct.
I got to ask you the way I asked everybody else. Are you excited to see kind of like the war mode? See what kind of improvements are you excited to get like possibly back into the game September 4th, man?
Maybe. I mean, it's there for I guess if you want to get around with some friends and stuff like that. There's just so many other games I want to get to. So
I will say this war mode is actually pretty fun. I've played it a couple of times. They have different little scenarios. Like you can be like snipers only. It's like a really, really small map area where it's like basically team deathmatch with like fucking 50 to 100 people. It's pretty fun.
They got a
See, that actually sounds interesting. I might give it a shot again.
Yeah, isn't in war mode there's respawns as well? And
yeah, you respawn. Whoever gets, I think, 300 kills first. I think last time I played, it was three teams of like 20 or something like that.
Damn.
And you're in a small circle. The circle doesn't move. The zone doesn't move at all. And you just keep respawning to the same section of the map. The map sections change randomly each time you play it. It's different. So you could be in an area with houses. You could be like in an open field with some hills and stuff like that. It's a really fun mode, but they also mix it up and they make you like you don't have to worry about looting and stuff like that. You land with certain weapons, and there's like it's challenging, but it's fun.
Oh man, I need to land with a UMP with all the attachments to it. You know what I'm saying? I need the extended mag. I need the suppressor. Give me a scope and everything, and I will have a blast doing that. I don't know. I'm excited, man. I want to see exactly what they have to offer. I see. I guess you could say I see the cup half full here with what I've played recently. I feel like it's a lot more stable. Adding the weather element added another kind of like layer to the game that I really like. When I land into a foggy map, I get excited because it's hard to see, a great distance in front of you, and I think I could sneak up to people with a shotgun in my hand or something. I want to try to catch people by surprise. I'm excited, man, and I know they're probably gonna patch it afterwards. I do have one more question for the panel. And it could be a really quick one, so we're just going to go down the line here. Predator, it's releasing September 4th. When do you think it's going to go on that other console, sir?
I don't think that will get announced until maybe next year.
Next
maybe
year?
around E3.
Well,
yeah.
Yoshida said January 1st. Do you think you could believe him on that? Or
No, I think that's a bit soon. If I had to guess, I think they'll probably announce it like at E3 next year.
Oh, the asshole.
What about you?
If Microsoft doesn't buy them.
Oh, Dark. What do you think, man? When can we see PUBG on a PS4, dude?
I think they'll announce it at PSX, and it'll probably come out sometime in January, probably.
Are you gonna roll with Yoshida and say the first? Brand new day, brand new year?
No, I don't think it'll come out exactly at the first. I think that's just like kind of like a placeholder. I think it'll come out probably within January though.
Yoshida uses placeholders. All right, that's new to me, but I'll roll with that. What, Don, what do you think, man? When are we gonna see this on PS4?
What on PS4?
When are we gonna see PUBG on PS4? It's releasing. Official release September 4th. So when do you think it's going to go to PS4?
Unless Sony's going to help them out, I don't think you're going to see it for at least a year.
Wow. You know what? You know what I didn't hear anybody say?
Never.
That it's not gonna go to PS4. Like I think everybody in the community is comfortable with the possible realization that this is gonna be a multiplat. Like nobody has said that. Now we already heard from Yoshida, but let's hear from Supersonic himself, man. When do you think PUBG is gonna go on PlayStation 4, dude?
January 20th.
All right. So Yoshida is January 1st, and Supersonic is January 20th. So anytime in between there, I think you guys would have to, get into a fight over to see who's right. But on that note, I think we are going to move on to the next topic, and I am looking at them right now. Let's see. How about Cyberpunk? Let's get into Cyberpunk, because there was an interesting article that the Angry Otter put in the DM. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, or unless you're really new to this channel, I am excited for Cyberpunk. Everybody, so far when it comes to CD Projekt Red, has gotten into Witcher 3 and said, people saying that is the game of the generation. I really didn't get into that game just because of kind of like the environment. But Cyberpunk, you put me in a futuristic kind of like cyborg dystopian world, and I will go nuts in that. So I am excited for this game. And come to find out, at Gamescom, it was announced that Cyberpunk is actually playable from beginning to end. And it made me think about, when is this game actually gonna launch? Adamus, you put that article in. I think you're excited for this title as well. So what do you think? It's playable from beginning to end. Do you think we can see an earlier launch? Do you think something like early 2019? Or is this just kind of the run of the mill kind of like development cycle, and we still might not see it until 2020?
Just because it says it's playable from beginning to end does not mean that it's gonna release anytime soon. Because there's probably still stuff that they have to add. They didn't really specify on like if this was like just straight story mode, beginning to end. So it's like there's probably still side missions that they have to add in.
Otter, if you die on the
probably...
podcast, I want to say it's nice knowing you, man.
I know, I sound terrible.
This show, episode 103, is gonna kill the Angry Otter, man.
No, I think I'm super excited for Cyberpunk 2077, even though it doesn't sound like it. I am.
I know you are, man. We've talked about it, so I know.
Yeah, I can't see it coming out next year. I could probably see it coming out maybe at the end of this generation, which a lot of us have predicted to be 2020, 2021, so somewhere around there.
So you don't think? I'm going to ask you this real quick. You give me your quick answer, and I'm going to move on to the next person. All right? But so,
all right, man.
With that being said, you don't think that they'll possibly come out with a Xbox One, PS4 version in maybe late 2019, and then 2020 come out with the next iteration of hardware, PS5, Project Scarlet, that version in like maybe late 2020 or so? Great talk.
I would have to say,
because it's probably gonna.
All right, Dark, you are botting really bad, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you, dude, but you are really botting. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the next panelist. I know, Sonic, you were chiming in. What do you think about this news, man? Do you think it's something that you might expect the game a little bit earlier, or do you...
I was just trying to act like Dark Adamus. I don't have an answer. Actually, I'll go to answer. The answer is like I don't know, and I don't know anything about this. I haven't heard about it. I'm super excited about Cyberpunk, but CD Projekt Red, give them whatever time they need to make this an awesome game and release it. I think maybe like a year and a half we'll see it, or something like that.
All right, I got you.
But we just really don't have any information. They really haven't said a whole lot about it besides that it is fully playable, but that could mean a lot of things because they'll put a lot into that.
Yo, Sonic, I got really excited when I read the article, but when you first read it, it's something that you're excited for, any news, and you kind of like overly hype it, and then I sat back and I'm like, even within the article, it stated that God of War was playable from beginning to end in like, I think it was like August 2016. It still didn't come out until 2018. So I'm like, all right, I need to step back a little bit. I want the game to come out, but I also want them to put, the proper time into the game. So I'm gonna step back a little bit and just be like kind of in that wait and see. If it does come out a little bit earlier, I'll be happy. But with seeing what they did with God of War, I'm like, yeah, this might be a normal kind of like development cycle.
Yeah, I don't really know how CD Projekt Red does their games. Like, if I'd known when they said about The Witcher, it's fully playable, then when they released it, then
sorry, I had to.
I'd have a better idea.
Shout out to K Mega. Yeah.
K Mega, but dude, everyone that came out like that demoed that game was blown away. So that's what makes me super excited about the game. But without knowing anything, I'm just gonna sit here in anticipation and be blown away when I play it.
Wow, Yao Ming in the chat, and it's always good to have such a basketball star in the chat. He said, "What if Microsoft buys Cyberpunk 27 launch with next gen Xbox only and PC 1 year later?" Dude,
That'd be huge.
Yeah, I give you a major shout out. I don't think CD Projekt Red would be down for something like that, though, man. They seem like really happy to be on, multiple consoles. They do the work to get the most out of each of the consoles that their game is on. And dude, it would be nice, but in terms of bragging rights and stuff like that, but when it comes down to it, I don't think they would do that. Yo, Predator.
Hey, money talks, so
Yeah,
they have plenty of money.
Yeah,
they're
I was
fine.
gonna say, I think they're good right now, man.
They're flush with cash as a studio.
They're burning $100 bills to light their cigars right now.
Not quite that, but I'm sure they got a smoking lounge.
Yo, they are like the Monopoly guy, and they wear a monocle. And yes, the Monopoly guy has a monocle, people. Yo, well, Predator, what do you think about this news, man? Is it getting you excited? Are you thinking possibly an earlier release than what people have been expecting? And I think there's been some information about possibly this game kind of dropping in that like cross generation space. What do you think about that, man?
I think that would be the best for them, to drop it right before the end of this generation and then come out with it again. Like I think Skyrim did that, didn't they? They came out with it, then they came out with the remaster when the new consoles dropped out, and so did Grand Theft Auto. So it's kind of
definitely, because I ended up buying both.
Yeah,
both games, man.
And I think, like, from a financial standpoint, like if you're trying to maximize the most that you can get out of it, drop it right at the end of this generation, and then drop it again at the beginning of the generation. Maybe even at a reduced price or something like that. But I don't think it's going to come early. If they have a release date for it, even if it's ready from start to finish right now, they still got to optimize it and do other stuff with it too. So it'd be nice for it to come out early, but when does it ever happen? Like, it's rare for like a big blockbuster to be like, hey, you know what, we're done. We're just going to drop it now.
Is this game coming to PC too, or is it just consoles? I'm just
curious. Cyberpunk? I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about a PC release.
It will be released on PC.
Yeah, but I think it'll be later on.
I think if it was going to do it anytime, like even next year, we would have heard something by now.
I doubt it, because they're a PC eccentric company still. Like, console's still kind of a secondary thing for them.
Well, from what I've seen with development, now correct me if I'm wrong here, Don, but what I've seen, it's either they develop a game on PC and then it eventually goes to console, or they develop the game with the consoles in mind and then down the road it goes onto PC. I haven't seen too many kind of like universal launches, man.
Well, the thing is, you got to keep in mind is all games are developed on PCs. Doesn't matter what you prioritize. All games are developed on
mind trick right there.
all games are developed on PC because all assets are created on PC. They're not created on a console, and then they're ported over. So, yes, they may have a console-centric mindset going into it, right? But everything is there. So, like, let's say hypothetically, if Microsoft is the lead platform, which most likely is because they have the most powerful hardware, if they're going to take that route, everything that Microsoft does in their development kits allows for porting over to PC quite well. The engine they built, the performance profiles are built with PC performance profiles in mind. So, I just don't see them separating themselves from the PC space, to be honest with you, in any sort of way.
Yeah,
because
I wasn't saying separating, but like from what I've seen at least throughout this generation, I started this channel this generation, and I've had to focus on the industry a lot harder than I did before I started this channel, and that just from what I've seen, I've never seen a lot of like universal launches when it comes to games, like console and PC at the same time. That's all I was throwing out there.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, but then again, not very many companies are capable of pulling that off, right? If you really think about it. So, like a lot of big publishers, they have a weird relationship with PC. They develop on it, but it's not almost like they don't like to develop on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think didn't we have a discussion on this like like months ago, like where it was like because of all like the different hardware and stuff like that. Some of the developers, it's like
there's other issues on the PC space that the publishers don't like. I mean,
pirates.
There's pirating. I mean, here's the thing: not everyone that plays PC is a pirates games and that sort of thing. That's like that's not fair. But it's there. There's a percentage of it. So a lot of times that's actually what holds back PC releases. To be honest with you, because what they're trying to do is release a bunch, get as many sales as they possibly can before people kind of misuse their code, if you know what I mean. And then they'll release on PC also. Maybe some, there's other performance profiles, as you mentioned before. They want to make sure to do the most they can get out of all those. I mean, just in general, Project Pimp Cup, the performance profiles just on the whole memory side of things was actually a code I got from the Insomniac guys, believe it or not, as a plugin into I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, into Unreal. So technically, when I'm building my game right now, and it's designed to scale across all PC right now.
Nice.
It's just kind of how
for you then, man.
Yeah, exactly, and it's easier for me to build something on a PC and then port it over to Xbox when I get the studio name all registered and all that sort of stuff to go through their program. So
I want to give a shout out again to Crazy Greek Dude. Your questions and thinking along with the panel has been absolutely tremendous tonight. He said, but with forwards compatibility, and that's something that we've been talking about with Xbox, because that's something that Xbox is talking about. He's like, because we're talking about this game possibly releasing in that cross generation space. He's like, with forwards compatibility, they can't like re-release it on Xbox. Now, Don, what do you think about that? Does that make sense? Like moving into like Scarlet hardware, if they do forwards compatibility, would it be harder for them to re-release, Cyberpunk for Scarlet?
Well, I don't think they would do a re-release. I would just, if they are going to do forwards,
just
Microsoft
automatically scale up.
They're going to have the assets already built into it. So basically, if you have the RAM, it's going to be able to load those higher level textures and the lighting. Because here's the thing: is like more powerful hardware. What does that mean for people? Well, getting away from the stupid pixel counting bullshit that we've been dealing with for years, right? We're going to get, hopefully not this generation, but the generation after, people stop arguing about frame rate resolutions and stuff like that, because that's going to be an argument I'm sure people are going to have this next generation, not understand why some games will be released at 30 next gen. So realistically, they'll have the game built in a way that it is built for more powerful hardware in mind. So the assets and everything is going to be created for it, and they're just going to just have more access to what's built into the game already. So I mean, that's the way I kind of look at it in regards to that. And I don't think they care about a re-release, right? Like that's not how they work. That's not how they build their games on the PC side of
That
things.
is
So
true.
why would they want to do it differently on the console side of things? Matter of fact, if anything, the whole forwards compatibility thing brings more attention to their game. As you release more powerful hardware, their game looks even better, becomes the talk of the town once again, and they'll ride that wave more than anything else. So
Nice. And dude, I actually I'm thinking about that. Man, what a time, to the entire what a time we're in where we could be talking about like the next generation of hardware and a game releasing on the hardware we have now and then automatically being kind of like ready for that more powerful hardware that, as I predicted they're gonna drop in 2020. That would be an absolute first in the console industry. Pret, what do you think about that, man? Do you see kind of like that industry changing like that? I mean, are you excited for that kind of like potential there?
Yeah, and when I made my statement earlier, I totally forgot about the whole forward compatibility aspect of it. So yeah, I mean, like that's a game changer right there, especially like the thing we were talking before. Like if Sony doesn't do this, then they're gonna be asked out, going forward. And this is just another upside for the Xbox, having been in the Xbox configuration that we have right now, that we're working at forward compatibility. I don't have to buy this game again. It's just gonna scale up to what I have now, my most current console.
To me, that's kind of like mind blowing in the console space, man. I am really excited to see what is going to happen with the new hardware. Now, when it comes to PlayStation, and I'm just throwing this out here for people in the chat to know. They haven't said anything about forwards compatibility, or at least anything in a positive manner when it comes to like.
there's a lot of assuming on the PlayStation side of things of what they're going to do, and no one really knows. No one even remotely close, and they haven't said anything.
They haven't said anything either. So if at some point in time, let's be real here, say that they're aiming for 2020 as well, which I think they are. When it comes to development of the console itself, I mean, they don't really have a lot of time if they're like, you know what, we need to do forwards compatibility. Let's like make this a reality with PlayStation 5. Am I right, Don? Don, there's not really too much time between now and 2020 when it comes to hardware development.
Here's the thing: is that I don't think that in any sort of way they're not thinking about it or haven't invested dollars into the concept of it. Given that they're starting to see success with the Pro. I mean, it's that percentage of people that buy Pro grows throughout the generation. The X has seen success as well, right? So they're starting to see that. They're also seeing the business model where it's worked on PC side of things. So I can see them definitely entertaining the idea, but giving themselves an out in case they're not able to pull it off, if that makes any sense. Because it really comes down to the dev kit, and basically also doing a kind of a rework on existing hardware and basically changing a lot of stuff on the current API that allows you to deal a little more seamlessly. So they got some work ahead of them. They can totally do it because it's all software that we're talking about. The question is in a real good development kit, but the question is, are they going to invest there, or are they going to cut their losses and just kind of move forward? I don't know what their game plan is, to be honest with you.
It's going to be interesting, and I like the fact that you said game plan, because we're going to move on to the next topic, and it seems like gamers need to develop a game plan when it comes to the beginning of the year and buying games. And the reason why I'm saying this is because another developer, aka Overkill, they're working on a game called The Walking Dead. It's a game that I know a lot of Walking Dead fans are excited for. Overkill has actually come out and stated that they are moving up their release date to guess. Can you guess which month?
January.
Nope, none other than February. You were really close. Now with February, February 22nd is a really interesting time because I believe there are four titles coming out. So Overkill comes out and states that they are moving their game up into February as well. So 5 new games are dropping in February. Supersonic, what the hell is going on? When did it become like February that all these games are dropping and stuff? What do you think's going on, and what can you just guesstimate
what game
Overkill's
released?
doing?
What game released last February and it was pretty successful? Was that
Was that
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, that was Horizon.
Yeah, people probably took note of that.
Did
Go ahead, Dan.
Nintendo have some success around that same time frame too?
What one?
I think when there's release of the Switch, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it
so.
February or was it March or it was somewhere in that window?
It was in that area, definitely.
Yeah.
Man.
I'll just say this: I looked at the gameplay. Like at first, they were kind of announcing this as a VR game, and then they changed it to where it's a console game, and then they showed the game. Like the trailers look freaking awesome. It makes you excited about it. Then you see the gameplay, you're like, "What the hell is this crap?" So yeah, they need a lot more work. They need to push it further back than February, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they didn't push it back. They pushed it forward. Like they're like, you know what?
They push it forward. You said?
They pushed it forward, man. They said they're good to go in February. That's when they're dropping it.
No, they need to do some work to that game. That's weird. I don't understand.
So you don't even know what they're thinking on this one, then, right?
No, I don't.
Well, yo, Predator, what do you think about this, man? 5 games dropping in 1 month. Of course, 4 of them in one day, in the same day. Like, what
games are they first, before you go to Predator? What games are they?
We got
Kingdom Hearts.
Crackdown, Anthem,
Division, I think.
Division.
Crackdown's not going to happen in February.
Crackdown, I think it was February 28th, though.
You shut your mouth, Supersonic. You don't say
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying. Oh my God. Crackdown's not going to happen.
I thought I heard the 28th for Crackdown.
I don't think so. They would have said something.
They said the 22nd, man. Because I remember when they first said it. It was when we were getting the dates for the other games as well, and everybody was like, "What the hell is going on? What is?"
Dude, look how much advertisement Spider-Man got like months before its release, and Crackdown's supposed to come out in February, and we hear crickets on this. That's scary.
Crackdown is definitely a conundrum. Like we're not seeing anything typical in terms of marketing and stuff like that with that game. But I still think it's either going to come out, in February on the date that they said, or possibly move it up to January.
I would say the advertisement's on par from what Microsoft's been doing recently, wouldn't you say? Like, if you look at the last 2 major releases with Sea of Thieves and State of Decay.
Oh, yeah, Black Rider, I'm sorry, but the Division is in March. There are 4 games. I got to look it up, man.
There's more than 4 now. There's like 6 or 7.
Crackdown.
Kingdom Hearts, I'm excited about Kingdom Hearts 3. I can't wait to play that.
Kingdom Hearts is in January at the end.
End of January?
Is it January 20th?
Even with that, you go towards the end of January, going into February, like you can even tack that on. You're looking at like 6 games in a matter of like 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks or so. This is absolutely insane, in my opinion, when it comes to games releasing within a certain time. To me, this is a holiday type release when it comes to multiple games, but there's no holiday in sight going from January to February. Like, I want to know what like, do you think any of these Dark, do you think any of these devs are going to change their mind and they're going to move dates around, or do you think that they're all going to release like this?
I think they will. I think the only one that probably won't, and if we do know that Crackdown 3 is coming out in February, which I think they have, I think they have stated. I think that'll stay where it is. I think the Division will probably come out still in
Division's coming out in March. Black
Rider. I got the names right here for you.
I think
Metro.
Metro.
Yeah, there we go.
Crackdown. Days Gone.
Anthem too.
Anthem's in February?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anthem.
Anthem,
So it's
Metro,
Anthem,
Days Gone,
Days
Gone.
Why would they
Metro,
move-
I think-
Crackdown.
What's the overkill
I
thing?
think- I think
Just-
the only. I think
Just
the
Google
only.
February 22nd, and it'll tell you all of them.
That's what I did.
The only games I could see coming out in February are basically just Crackdown 3, and then maybe what's that other one that I know was on
Anthem.
Pred's list? Not Anthem. Yeah, Anthem. That one.
Anthem.
So
I think Anthem
I
is
think
solid.
the rest of them. I think the rest of them will get pushed. I think Days Gone will probably get pushed until probably May, sometime probably, because they're probably like thinking, oh well, if we push it to like maybe even April, around the same time that God of War came out, I think that'll be kind of a sweet spot for them. What was the other one? There was another one on there.
Days Gone, Anthem.
He's gone. Anthem,
Or to
Metro
close it out.
Exodus.
Metro.
Kingdom
Metro
Hearts.
Exodus. I think that'll probably come out later. I think that'll probably come out in like. I think they'll push that until like August or something like
You
that.
know, compared to what we first saw when it comes to Metro Exodus, and guys, before I say this, I just want to let everybody know I am a huge Metro fan. I absolutely loved the first two games, but from what I saw from the first trailer to what I've seen lately, there's definitely been a downgrade, and if anything, that might, if they can push it back and put a little more polish in there when it comes to the graphics and stuff, I think it would be really good for them to do, in my personal opinion. And I know me and Don have talked about it, and Don's like, what downgrade? And I'm like, dude, I see it. And he's like, yeah, I don't see it. But...
No, I agreed there was a downgrade, but they've also upgraded other things. That's what I'm saying. Everyone else was harping on you, but I did notice the downgrades. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not anywhere acknowledging that in any sort of way, but I think it's one of those things that's worth taking a look at, and the thing is, I don't think everyone notices it. That's where I'm at.
Well, guys, I gotta ask here. Do you guys think like that February kind of like end of January, early March, and that whole area, does that look like the new kind of like quote unquote holiday season? Do you think we're gonna get games dropping before Christmas and then games dropping in that February time frame? Do you think this is going to be the norm going forward?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a hot. I don't know. Now January and February looks like a hot spot for games, so I hope that trend continues.
But the weird thing is people wanted games spread out more, and it's like, okay, we'll spread it out more. We have one more hot like time, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna everybody's gonna release either holiday or they're gonna release in that area, February, early March.
Yeah, it's better than just everything releasing at the end of the year, though, because that's what usually happens. Like as I said before the show, I would love to see like 1 or 2 games released in June or July. I know. Don, what did you have to say about that? I forgot.
Just sales on pretty much anything is down. There is truth to that people do watch less television in summer, less games are being played in the summer. Like people are doing other outdoor activities, and I know there's some people
going outside. People,
I know some people will argue that that's not what they do, but that's not the point. There's not enough support there yet.
I'm a summer of arcade and all that good stuff. Like I would totally buy games in June and July.
I'm not opposed to the idea if the industry matures in that way. I just don't think we're there yet. In general, I mean, I don't think summer blockbusters were a thing for a while until we kind of grew into that in the movie industry. So it's something that the game industry has to grow into. As far as that goes, and yeah, so it's just we're just a ways off from that, and I understand where people are coming from, but I think games as a service also fills in a lot of that gap too, from between those lows and those releases. So
Don, I really at first I couldn't see it, but when you said summer blockbusters, because I do know the gaming industry kind of overtook the movie industry, and I can see an evolution to where you would have like summer blockbuster games coming out and people putting in the money.
The game industry does got that. It's called winter blockbusters.
Yeah,
that's right when fall hits, right? I mean, that's when we get these major game releases between then and Christmas. So game industry does got that to a certain degree, and the movie industry grew into that space for that. But the game industry, the movie industry has also grown in such a way. I know Darth can talk more about this than I could, but they've grown in such a way that blockbusters are not just being released in the middle of summer. Sometimes they're early in the year. Sometimes they're closer to the Christmas time. So they do try to spread that out. And I do see the game industry eventually going there. We're just not there yet.
Well, I know Dark can definitely talk about that because you know how he's saying he's sick right now. He actually got sinus herpes from going to the movie theater, and that's why he's sick right now.
Dude, you're not supposed to share Q-tips when you're at the movie theaters, man. That's gross.
Why you guys gotta be like this right now?
And we don't share Q-tips.
But yeah, I mean, Don's right. The movies have been doing like this whole coming out early in the beginning of the year, later in the year, and some in the summer. That's why you haven't really seen very many huge blockbusters in the summer. You see more like winter, time, somewhere on there. And that's usually because they know that more people have money around that time to spend on, movies, gifts, things like that.
All right, I got you. Well, guys, it is time to hit our main event topic. It is a topic that has put the gaming community out there on Twitter and social media on absolute fire. There are people that are singing praises right now, and there are people saying, why the hell would you want this service? And yes, I am talking about All Access. Now, guys, I just want to put out there that this is indeed a rumor, but it is a rumor to which gaming media like The Verge and other gaming media sites have been reporting on. So it makes it kind of like a more substantial rumor. Now, All Access is a service that, within this rumor, would be a subscription service, and with this subscription service you would get an Xbox console, you would get 2 years of Game Pass, you would get 2 years of Xbox Live, and now here's the deal: Xbox One S, you would be paying about $28 a month for all this. So that's right, no money up front, $28 a month, and you would get the console, you would get the Game Pass, you would get Xbox Live. Now, for an Xbox One X, that would be $35 because, of course, the console is more money. And there's a lot of people out there, really saying how this is a pro-consumer thing. But then there's a lot of people out there talking about the negatives to this situation.
That's right.
And this is where Supersonic actually came in, because Supersonic, I will say, man, you were out there on Twitter and you were sharing your opinion, and I give you a lot of props, because no matter what was going on, no matter how many people chimed in or anything like that, you were really trying to put your opinion out there. So I'm gonna go to you first, Sonic. All Access. Now, it is a rumor, I can't reiterate that enough, people. I'm not trying to say that this is coming like right around the corner and it's all but done and Xbox is saying yes, because they're not. All right, nobody is really saying anything. It's a rumor, but it is what I would call more substantial rumor, because you have media sites also talking about this. Sonic,
I don't think. First of all, I don't think it's substantial. Like, this is not going to happen. I don't even think it's true whatsoever. But I guess Jess said we'll find out Monday. So if this goes by to Monday, we find out it's not true, then I'm going to lose a lot of credibility to it.
Well, I want to know why you think it's not true, if you don't mind.
Because, he even said that he just saw it on Tom Warren's Twitter, tweeting about it from The Verge. And that's where he got his article from, was from his... I don't know, it's all just like...
Well, to clarify, so he got it, and I'm not trying to argue with you, because you have your own opinion. I want to hear it.
No, we want to get the explanation out there.
Let me get to clarify where Jazz is come from. his sources are different. He didn't realize that Tom Warren tweeted something related to the same thing, and then that's when more information. And Tom's sources are different than Jez's, so these are coming from two different sources, and that's according to Jez.
Oh, okay. So.
Okay, I still don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, like.
But what anyway, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to know why you don't think it's going to happen.
I just think it's another rumor that's not going to happen. We've had tons of them. I mean, I've seen stuff on Windows Central that never came true, and I think this is just another one.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I mean,
I just can't see Xbox doing this, like announcing it Monday. Like I just don't see it like whatsoever.
What do you think is?
Uh-oh. I lost them. That means you guys lost them in the chat. Hold on. They will be right back.
Hold that thought.
There
and
we
then
go.
You're back.
Yeah,
we are back. So what was Don, what was the question that you asked Supersonic, by the way? Because that's when we cut out.
Oh, I already forgot. But keep on going.
Well, Supersonic, whether it comes true or not, like I said, you were out there on Twitter, you were sharing your opinion. I definitely wanted to give you that platform where you can talk out there, to the gaming community, and because sometimes, typing stuff out, you get kind of a loss in translation there. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about the service? Like, is this something that you think would be positive for console gaming or negative, man? What do you think?
It gives me a headache even thinking about it. I think it would be more confusing to consumers. I don't understand how, I mean, I know they did it on the 360 at the end, but look how that turned out. Like, I don't know enough information. Like, do you have to have credit to do this, or the kid's gonna
what I hear, you
say I need a cosigner? I mean, say if Sony did this, I'd be bashing them too. Like, would you trust Sony giving your social security number and crap to rent a console? I mean, like, I could understand like a Surface Studio thing that's like over $1,000 or something like that, or 2,000, to where you need to make payments, but I don't want my Xbox becoming Rent-A-Center. If you catch my drift.
Well, it's not a rental. You own it when you're done.
Well, that's what Rent-A-Center.
Let me clarify. That's what the rumor says, because we don't know. It's all part of the rumor, right? So we don't know if that's the fact or not.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like a rumor, and I mean, what if you don't make a payment? Is Major Nelson going to show up at your house with white Mickey Mouse gloves and take your Xbox away?
I would purposely buy one and not make a payment if that happened, to be honest with you.
There's just no way in hell I want like a $30 or $40 payment on a game console. I mean,
you'd rather just buy it up front for you as an individual.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as of course, choices are good and stuff, but what if things evolve to where even Game Pass, if it comes to like cloud only, and this is the only way you're going to do it, options can always change, like in a bad way too. And if it becomes
the staple, is basically what you're saying. Like
yes, if it becomes like the only option, then that's not good for me.
See, Sonic, when I was watching this Twitter thread, because I was tagged in the beginning, so I watched this whole thing unfold on my phone. I think one of the things that, like, because I sit here and I take my emotions out of it. I look for common sense when people are going back and forth. And one thing I will say, I was like, you know what? When it comes to business, if something that is an option catches fire to that point, yes, it can overtake kind of like the medium and become the thing that's done. Now, what I'm saying here is, when Supersonic was talking in this tweet, he basically stated that, I believe in options, but what happens if the option becomes the norm? So what happens if Microsoft decides this is doing so well that this is the way we're going to do it for all our consoles, and it's all going to be subscription services, and to play games you have to have Game Pass and everything like that. So with that right there, Sonic, I got to say, whether or not that ever happened, that was a great way to look at it with some sort of kind of like level playing field. You're not taking kind of like your love for the platform and having that kind of like create your opinion. You're really looking at it in a more down to earth manner, in a way that some businesses, some companies would do something like that, man. And
Well, that's why I got mad. Like, I swear, if I say one bad thing about Xbox, here comes all the Twitter people, boom, 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 bombard. But it's just stupid. Like anything Xbox does, I'm not gonna kiss Phil Spencer's ass and love it and crap. If it looks like something fishy or something weird or something, I'm gonna say something.
Nice. And like I said, that was one of the main things when I saw that. I was like, man, that is a great way to look at it. So now, Supersonic, I am going to move down the panel and see what everybody else thinks about this rumor and whether or not it would be good or bad. I
got another thing I want to ask before you move down.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so say they are going to do this, okay? Is this just going to be Microsoft stores? Because how many Microsoft stores are in the United States?
That is what the rumor is. So, you are to a good point. It's not very big if that ends up being the case.
I just don't think this is going to happen. Okay, go next person.
No, all right. Well, let's go to Predator, man. Predator's been quiet for a little bit. I want to hear if somehow, some way, he gets really fired up over this whole thing. So, Predator, all access. Now, people are saying it comes console, 2 years of Game Pass, 2 years of Xbox Live. If you get the S, $28 a month. If you get the X, $35 a month. What do you think about the possibility of this service in console gaming, man?
I personally wouldn't even touch this, to be honest with you. I'd rather just buy it outright, and just pick up, Xbox Live for $30 at CD Keys or something like that, and just play it that way. I just think financially it's just like a really bad deal, considering that these consoles are consistently being upgraded at an alarming rate recently, like every 3-4 years now. So you could have just bought one, and that's not even including the games that you want to buy. Now, looking on the outside, like I guess the best part of it is like the Xbox exclusives are going to be day and date, with Game Pass. But I mean, there's not a lot of Xbox exclusives out there, to be honest with you. So any other game you want, you have to pay for anyway. So we do this in the US all the time. You rent pretty much everything. You rent your cable box. You don't own that when you're done with it. You turn it back into the company that you got it from.
Yeah, but yet you're paying like $10 a month for it.
$10 a month for something that you can't keep.
You're giving back.
Yeah. And there's no other option for it. You can't just go out and buy a cable box from Spectrum. You have to use theirs. You have to use theirs.
Yeah.
We do it with cell phones in a sense where you actually get to own it, but the markup after you versus buying it versus what you pay, it's just like credit. You basically, and if you're gonna do that, just use your credit card and buy the damn thing. Personally, I can't see this working for most people. You must really want an Xbox bad if you go this route, to be honest with you. I'd rather just save up my money the old-fashioned way and just pay it off and just buy it outright.
Well, Predator, I know you're talking your own personal opinion here, but do you think that something like this could broaden kind of like the consumers to the Xbox platform? Like there might be parents out there that would be willing to do that 35. I know there's people out there, they do it with their cell phones. It's become the norm when it comes to your cell phone, and they just put that price for the phone, whether it's $10, $20 or so, in your phone bill.
Look at this. Like the S right now, if you just really wanted an Xbox, the S is what, $200 right now?
You can find it on deals for $200.
Exactly, and you can probably buy one used a lot cheaper. So no, I don't think it's going to entice anybody, because if I had to make it an option, I'd be like, I'll just get this shit used from Goodwill or something like that and buy it outright that way, or eBay or something like that. So there's other options out there that make better sense than doing it this way. It's just more, it just costs more money to do it this way. I just don't see it working, and I hope the rumor is not true. To be honest with you, I just think it's like I don't know. It's just like a bad buy to me. I think what would have made more sense had they come out, if they come out and say something about this, that it's more or less Game Pass and Xbox Live bundled together. Period. Not the console on, like, you spend $50, you get Game Pass with your Xbox Live account. That'd
be cool.
I'd rather do that than to have to go this route and have to spend $35 a month for an Xbox One X, and 2 years of Game Pass. Because what happens when the 2 years is up and you get your console, and Microsoft comes out with the Xbox One X two. So
well, somebody in the chat said, and we're all guesstimating here because no information has really come out. Somebody said something about taking the system you have, trading it in, kind of like what you would do with the cell phone. Like if they come out with a newer cell phone, you could bring your cell phone in. They'll do an adjustment, in terms of what you're paying, and you would get the new phone, and walk out with it, and give that old phone back to them.
So you'd have crackheads walking into GameStop and putting them on eBay for the next day.
But look at it,
that's different house,
though, man. Like,
if this was gonna work, why hasn't like Best Buy or something like that just done like a rental program like they used to do back in the day with Blockbuster? Like just have consoles there ready to rent for you to use.
Their incentive is way different than Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
If you think about like the reason why your cell phone has the incentive is they're trying to remove that barrier of you owning a phone, because if you don't own a phone, you don't have their service, right? So what does Best Buy have for that? They really, all they do is make money on the phone, and that's really about it, right?
Yeah.
You can buy cell phones through and service plans through Best Buy as well. So realistically, Microsoft would have to be the person that wants this because they're the provider of the service.
I think there's a market out there for this. I really do,
think
man.
there is too, for sure. I mean, I think there's some clarifications that need to be made on the rumor. So what is known about the rumor, these are what's been established by the rumor, is yes, it is Game Pass. Yes, it's Xbox Live, all into that bundle. You get to keep the Xbox. So it's closer to like a cell phone plan. It's not that, hey, you're renting a box. You are basically just making payments on the box until you own it. Basically, what it boils down to.
And that's basically what, as Supersonic was saying on Twitter, that's what Rent-A-Center does. You have a certain payment plan. You pay that every month for whatever hardware you're getting from them, and then
the difference is with the number that they're providing. And this is the rumor.
No interest, really, man.
There's really, really no interest when it comes right down to it, and it's actually cheaper than buying it on your credit card.
Hold on. I would honestly pay $50 to not even think about having a monthly payment to Xbox.
No, I'm right there with you. I pay for my stuff up front. Like,
but then again,
I'm one of those.
Be for you guys then.
But yeah, exactly. But this is the thing: is like when I go to a T-Mobile store, right, or whatever carrier you guys have, you have the ability to pay up front on the phone. But a lot of people don't realize you can also pay a good chunk of cash down, and then they'll roll that into a payment if you wanted to do that as well. Or if you don't have any money right then and there, they'll carve out a plan for you. So like you have an option there. Like just the fact that they want you to have their service, the phone is almost irrelevant for them. So it's just a barrier. So they don't care if you're paying it up front or you're doing it in installments.
I love this because it shits all over the MPD numbers when it comes to hardware sales. That's one of the things I absolutely love, because if this takes off, like it would be unbelievable how many people have this system.
I think it illustrates something well for gamers. So let's say this is not your plan. Okay, so the question is, what do you need to do to be ready for when the next consoles drop? Once you put $40 in the bank once a month, $30 in the bank once a month, that's all you got to do if you really think about it. And by the time those consoles release, you can just buy it outright. So, like, it illustrates it, like, just it breaks it down for you as far as that goes. And let's say you're not a Game Pass person, cool. You don't have to have that money rolling into Game Pass. You can have that roll into your next hardware purchase, whatever it is, next PlayStation or next Xbox or whatever it may be, in regards to that. But what this does, sometimes it just makes it easier because, like, we're all gamers here, but, like, Bot's a parent. So I think he understands. I also think Pred as well. Sometimes when you have parents that are not gamers, they don't really understand. Like it's a huge sticker shock when you tell them how much it costs for a new console. But if you tell them a certain monthly payment, you're just like, hey, I would pay that much for Cartoon Network for my child, so I'll do this instead,
There's
right?
a lot of parents out there that would think that way too, man.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do think this way because of how everything is.
Well, no, Don. One of the things
Right.
is, and like I
Go ahead.
said, this is where I think there is a market here for this. And I'm not Supersonic. I'm not talking against you. Like I said, I wanted to give you that platform, to share your opinion, and we're all going to share ours as well. I feel like when it comes down to it, when you talk to a parent that's looking to get a system for their kid, they're not putting down hundreds of dollars. They're paying like maybe $28 a month, but then this $28 a month is coming with 150 games as well as the console. And I think that right there is a selling point that a lot of people out there are going to be like, you know what? I'm going that route.
I don't think so. Like, I mean, even people that post the numbers on whatever Twitter, it was like that much for Xbox OG or something. Then an Xbox One S, it was 30 something. Then Xbox One X, it was 40 something. How much would an Xbox Scarlet be? $60 a month? No, thank you. I don't want a noose tied around my neck.
But
around
you don't have to have that. That's the thing.
That's you personally, man. And like I said, we are respecting your opinion. The way I'm looking at like the grander scope here. I'm looking at the wealth of consumers and the wealth of gamers, from the casual to the hardcore. And I do feel like there is a market for this service because of those couple of things I said. Because you're getting the hardware, you're getting 150 games, and you're not shelling out hundreds of dollars at once.
And I hear where he's coming from. I just don't think it threatens our way of gaming. That's what I want to illustrate, because there's so many examples of that, and I understand where your Supersonic's coming from, but there's so many examples of that. That's not the case. Like, one thing about companies, they want your money, right? So they don't care if it's upright or it's in installments. They want your money.
Some people forget about that out there. At the end of the day, these are corporations. The main goal of a corporation is to get as rich as possible.
Phil Spencer loves you.
but I mean, that's the thing. Is they want your money. So so the fact that you want to pay it outright, you're not threatened by that, right? That's not a you thing. I look at it too, and I try to take myself out of the equation, but I look at it, it's like, man, some parents don't understand that you buy the system and that's not it. You have to buy games. You have to buy online service.
You can't just buy the Xbox and be like, okay, kids, be happy. It's like, we don't have anything to play.
So this is for, and I always look at it as, it's for a parent that has a kid that's into games, that wants to play games, or maybe they want to dabble in it every once in a while. But it removes all those additional barriers. And that's what the industry is trying to do now, is how do we remove these sort of barriers that we get more people playing games in general.
Which in turn adds to the active user base. It increases their numbers.
Exactly.
Which, they go to their shareholders. They're showing a huge swell of numbers. They're getting more budget from the corporation called Microsoft to make more games, to do more features. This is how it goes. This is business right here, yeah?
Yeah, and are there some people that are going to fall down that slippery slope and invest into a Scarlet through a program like this? If it's still out there, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be people like that. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just going to just buy it outright, and I do it now. I mean,
everyone on this panel, go down, if this is true, which I don't think it is, will you do this program, or are you just going to be a normal person and go buy an Xbox?
So you're trying to say, if I say yes, I'm not normal. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I just want to know the honest truth.
Okay, I would embrace that. I'll do it.
I'm not that guy. I buy my stuff up front. I mean, I bought my cell phone. I knew the latest Galaxy. I bought it up front in cash. But I'm also...
You got the Note 9?
Yeah, I got the Note 9. Not the Note, but not the Note, but the standard.
We're looking into the Note 9 right now.
But see, people compare this to phones too, and phones are kind of a necessity to people. And
that's true. That's true. So there is a difference there.
Consoles are more of a luxury. You don't have to really have this. So I just think it's weird. I think it's very.
It treats your Xbox like a cable service, is what it does. It really, but the difference
we all want that.
But instead of owning, the cable box, not owning the cable box, then you own your Xbox at the end of it. That's the difference of what the rumor is in regards to that. But that's the thing. I don't think anytime when there's something that's not something we're into as gamers, I just don't feel like we should ever feel like it's.
Well, see, I I have a personal opinion, but then I look at things with a larger scale because what I, to get a really good kind of like pulse on what's going on with the industry, you can't just look at yourself and what you would do. You have to look at the hardcore demographic, and you gotta look at the casual demographic.
Well, if it's what other people would do, like I said, there's only how many Microsoft stores in the United States? Like 10
that's
or
a
something.
great point. That's a great
But
point.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like it's not really that big of a deal. It's only a small segment of them, and I would imagine they would partner other stores with.
They'd have to. They'd have to do Walmart, like everything. I mean,
just order online, they ship it to you.
They can do that as well. That removes a barrier.
And how would they do this without a credit check?
I think they would have to do a credit check, to be totally honest with you.
Okay, that's like I said. I don't want them having my social security number and all that crap. And
do you honestly believe, if this came true, do you honestly believe this is the only way you're going to be able to get your next console?
If some became very popular and Xbox profited off it, just like the cloud gaming crap, and Game Pass, if they find this is the only option they profit off of, they could ex-nay the physical Xbox.
So let's use another example. Let's use PCs. So major PC suppliers out there, like the Dells of the world and HP and stuff like that, they have programs like this. They've had programs like this a lot longer, a really long time actually. That you can still buy a PC outright. They're not going to stop you from buying it. Does that make sense? Like this is just another option. I understand like the fear of something become popular. Look, here's a Telltale game. I cannot stand Telltale games, right? Do I feel threatened that Telltale games became popular? No. I think
This is totally different though.
But that's the thing. It doesn't threaten me because it becomes popular doesn't mean other games go away. It's the same thing when it comes to buying stuff. Just because certain ways are popular doesn't mean the other option goes away. I mean, I can do installments on some of the software I have to do, or I can buy it outright.
Okay, for example, Hulu used to be free to everyone, and then it's not. Now you're forced to pay for it. You're not forced to pay for it, but if you want Hulu, hey, you got to pay for it now. Why? Because we make more money that way.
That's true, but if it wasn't a viable resource for them to do that, they would just go under.
Well, guys,
that's what it boils down to.
Here's the thing when it comes to what Supersonic says, and after first I want to hear if Dark has anything to say about this, because I know, dude, 3-4 words, whatever you got in you, man. Let me know what you think about this rumor. Do you think it would be a good service for the gamers out there, man?
3-4 words.
No, that service sucks. Trash.
All I gotta say is that I would probably never use this service, but I do see the potential in it. I do see that, parents and people who can't really buy a console outright, utilizing this service. But that's the thing: if they don't get this out to more stores, then I don't see it succeeding. If it just at the Microsoft store, it's not gonna work.
I will agree with you with that, Optimus. I feel like they would need to strike a deal with like a Walmart. I wouldn't go GameStop, because let's be honest, I don't know how long they're gonna last anyway. It's getting really bad with GameStop. I visited our local one, and it's not looking good when it comes to those stores. But I do agree with you. Target, Walmart, Best Buy, someplace like that, they need to strike a deal to have, if they're going to do this service. And like I said, it is rumor. But if they are, I think they would have to strike a deal with a bigger venue than the Microsoft store. But
here's little Johnny at Christmas. Hey, Mom, I want to get an Xbox that comes with Game Pass and Xbox Gold, and it's only $35. I need a cosigner though.
I know
please.
like my mom, the kid's grandma, like they go in on the oldest a lot, right? If she knew about this service, like my oldest does not have an Xbox One X because he wanted a gaming PC, and now he hardly even games on his gaming PC, but he kind of looks at the Xbox One X. If my mom saw that there was this service for like $35 a month, I guarantee you she would get him this console with that service right there. I guarantee it. Yeah.
I think it's confusing.
Well, also, what I was gonna say is that Supersonic, you're saying something about social security number, but that's the thing. Don't you give your social security number out when you get a new phone? Like
I was thinking
it's
that
kind
too,
of like
man.
the same thing.
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want Xbox to have that information, or Sony. Definitely, I don't want them to have it.
And I can understand that, but I don't think that's ever going to be a mandatory thing if you want to continue the game. Like that's just if you want to buy a game on buy a system on loan. You know what I mean?
I mean, at the end of the day, like I feel like there is a market there, but I also like I can see it both sides. I can see it as pro consumer or pro gamer.
You said pro. Pro.
Yeah, I just had to say it a third time. But I see it as like pro consumer, pro gamer, and I also see it as pro business as well. And I think that's something where people are like, well, what are they going to do with this? Now,
not pro business if they only have it in one store.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing, man.
Here's the thing. I see this as a precursor to their streaming option they're going to have down the road. This is them trying to iron out whatever that program is. So when you have the streaming option, that makes a lot more sense, right? Because it doesn't cost a ton to buy that piece of hardware. At least that's what the rumors go, right?
Mm.
And if people want to opt out, they can opt out sooner. Does that make sense? At the same token, that system is dependent on you being able to stream anyway, so it makes sense to have a service tied to it.
Microsoft gonna give out free cable next?
And it's funny. I was about to say that because
But if they could, they would. They know that's a barrier. I mean, they know that's a barrier for them to people to access the service.
Yeah, they want this console in everybody's living room. Now think about this. Now, if you could replace your cable box with an Xbox One X for $35 a month, and it had Netflix, Hulu, Spectrum cable all bundled in with it, would this be a better deal?
That's never gonna happen.
I'm just answer the question. I know it's never gonna happen, but like if he did something like that,
no, I wouldn't do it. Like I don't want a bill going to Xbox every month. I don't want a noose around my neck from Microsoft. They do stupid shit sometimes, and sometimes I don't want it. I definitely don't want to deal with that bill.
So does Target, so does Walmart. All these companies have had some kind of scams lately with their.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be $35 a month. They could always, like they said, if you want an S, it'd cost more. If you want an X, it'd be like 40 something.
I gotta say, shout out to Z Black Rider in the chat. He said eventually Microsoft will give away the streaming box. And I think he means the Scarlet Cloud, just for signing up for the service. Like I can see that as well. Like if you sign up, say you sign up for, Game Pass and Live, you get like this $125 or box with it. I can see
that's a crap. That's a crap that scares me. Like, if that would do super good, this cloud gaming Game Pass stuff, if that did super good, and they made that the only option for us, we lose.
But what is the incentive to go only option? That's the thing I don't think anyone's been able to explain to me, because they want your money, and they understand people are different types of consumers out there. So why would they
puts out shit they don't support all the time? Not, I mean, didn't we learn what Connect not to force stuff to us?
Well, see, here's the deal. Here's the deal, Don, and I'm gonna go to Supersonic on this, because Supersonic, like I said, you made a valid point in my opinion with talking about if it's popular, it could possibly take over. Now I know Don said, it's all about options. And I would mostly agree with Don, except for the fact that I do realize both these companies want their gaming division to eventually just be a streaming service. So I can see that kind of like doom and gloom aspect that Supersonic's talking about for him personally, like this not getting to that, I can
But
see
the
this
problem,
as a precursor to that.
The problem with that thought process is that's more expensive for them. That's not the cheaper solution. It's just a solution that allows them to have
I've
more
heard
money.
that for a while, and now we are talking like streaming. You got like the Scarlet Cloud rumored and stuff like that. I've heard people say negative things about streaming games and stuff like that for the longest time. And
it costs them more. It costs the companies a lot more to do it.
Then why are they doing it with the?
It's an option. So if you think about it in the thought process, you're saying I want to eliminate everything. Then that doesn't make any sense. But
I'm saying down the line. I'm saying like down the line.
But if you're in that thought process, it doesn't make any sense at all because it costs more for them to do that. But if they can nickel and dime,
hold on. How do you? It doesn't cost more than having multiple options because then you're doing something right now that costs more, plus having ulterior options to get your products out there, which also cost. So when you go
everything's got a cost.
When you go
the economics
one channel,
are different.
you only have one cost. So that takes away the other costs for the other options, making it within your budget.
But it's still more expensive to do streaming for a company.
I know, but they're doing it anyway, is what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm. But what I'm saying is the purpose is to subsidize the people that may not buy a console locally. That's the whole reason why you're doing it.
Dude,
So
their streaming crap sucks. If you want to see how bad game streaming works, go watch my YouTube at me trying to game share with someone playing Grand Theft Auto. They can't even stay on the road.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is it's to subsidize a different type of gamer. So $1 is $1, right? But if you make $3 off streaming and you make, let's say, $30 off selling a game, someone that bought local hardware, one's going to make you more money than the other, but it doesn't mean you're going to say no to the other $3 you just made, right? So that's the thought process. It is cheaper to develop. It's expensive to develop your own hardware, but it's still cheaper to develop your own hardware than it is to pay for the bandwidth, the servers, the cost that it takes to run that stuff, the people that you need to run those sort of servers.
So manpower I will give you, but everything else they're already paying for, though. If they're getting ready
what they're just using is what's under their own roof. I get that. But what I'm saying is it doesn't constantly pay for themselves because electricity and the service you have to, because they don't get that bandwidth for free. Taxes on the building is not free. All that, and then they have to pay taxes on what's the value of those things in that building as a business. So all this stuff is like not free. It's
Dude,
I hope
I'm
that's
just
an alarm on your phone.
saying.
That's like there for every Saturday.
That's why I say I don't think these things are a threat in any sort of way. Like when people say streaming this, streaming that, because they cost more. Can they make money off them? Sure, but it's always going to cost more for that. It's just how technology trickles down. And there's always going to be a need for local hardware. I mean, we can take Phil's literal word or not, but they said
if they give away the local I think what Supersonic's trying to say is that they give away the local hardware for the service. That's the place that Supersonic doesn't want the industry to go, as that is the only option. You pay for the service, you get Game Pass, and that's your only way to go.
That's the reason why I don't think that's that's why I don't think it's a threat.
Not only that, like if this was true, it just confuses the shit out of people, and Microsoft is in no place to confuse their customers and crap like that.
I don't think it's confusing right now. I think
I do.
Exactly what Don said. It's an option. I feel like it's an option that if the parents out there, more casual gamers out there, if they get wind of, I think it would be a viable way to get them on the Xbox platform. But I also do say I see what you're saying as well, Sonic, and to me, this is something that I am interested in, but it is also something that I am going to keep my eye on as well moving into the future. You know?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna be on Twitter all day Monday. Seeing what this.
I don't mean that recent future. I'm talking like down the line, but
no, I understand where he's coming from. Like, if let's say Xbox Live Service sucks for which it has this last 3 weeks recently. You as a gamer, you have the right to not continue to pay for that service, right? You can cancel at any given point in time if you're paying monthly. But if you pay yearly, you're stuck with it, right? Same thing if you sign up for this, you're stuck with this device or out of that money if you decided to bail on the program later on. So, I mean, those are things to take in consideration. I mean, I don't think you should ignore that as a consumer.
See what I like about it, and what I like about this is like, you know me, I'm not into fanboy BS. Like, I prefer the Xbox platform. All my friends are there. I love the exclusives and everything like that. But I like to hear all the different sides to a situation, and I think that's what it's about. And that's where, Supersonic, I give you major props for kind of like sticking with your opinion and trying to share it out there on social media. I know a lot of people that were responding didn't really agree with you. I don't necessarily agree with you 100% either, but I can see where you're coming from on certain situations. And if you didn't say that, it might have taken me a lot longer to step back and to look at it again with kind of like a different pair of glasses on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one thing that's great about the community. It's one of the reasons why I do like being on, Twitter and social media like that, because sometimes like seeing responses and people's opinion makes me look at a situation a little bit differently. And I give you props, man. You really stuck with your opinion and you tried to share it out there, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no doubt. but on that note, we did get the chime, man. Yo, Predator, you got to make that like an alarm, like every Saturday for 9 o'clock. You think you could do that for me, man?
Oh, I just did it. No, I only do that when we go on a topic that seems like it's going like super fucking long.
It was interesting. You hear a lot of other shows, and I've been on quite a few of them throughout the week, and we've been talking, the praises to it. And there's a lot of things that, it has potential. This rumor has potential if it's true. But it's good to hear the other side of it as well, and why people might, not like that service so much, and why they might be skeptical. And I think we are the podcast that really kind of tackled it on that even keel. We talked about the good, we talked about what could possibly be the bad, and I think that's something that, this podcast kind of brings to the table out there, man.
I got another question real quick. What is this gameplay in? Is this Dying Light? This looks awesome.
No, that's Hunt Showdown, man.
This is the game that's coming to Xbox.
Oh, it looks pretty.
He's like,
awesome.
He's like, all right, I'll be picking that up when it hits.
That's the game that's gonna win for the week, right there.
Yeah, guys, I gotta put up.
Who is that? I'm voting for him.
Hold on.
So, put yourself as Spawn Killer 448. So everyone.
Dude, I did not spawn kill. I did not spawn kill. Let's see if I can multitask here. I'm gonna try to type.
I will be all day.
And I'm gonna try to do outros. Yo, Supersonic, again, thank you for coming on the show. I know it was last minute. Like I said, I saw what was going on Twitter. I figure, I wanted to give you a kind of like a stage, so this way you could really share kind of like your opinions on the all access without, just doing it, typing it in Twitter, man. And I had a lot of fun. So, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, man, you got to get those plugs in. So why don't you let people know, about your YouTube channel and stuff you're up to, and how people can get a hold of you, man.
I want to say first, thank you for letting me come on here, and thank you for this amazing panel. You guys are awesome. You guys in chat have been super cool. You can find me at Supersonic Station on YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch, probably in VR or something. Every Tuesday with Graphic God Stinking Corpse and UK Dez on Retro Renegades playing classic arcade games or old school like Dreamcast games and stuff. That's on 6 p.m. Central. We take turns on the YouTube, whoever YouTube it's on. And I think that's about all we got going for right now.
Nice, brother, man. Again, it was a pleasure having you on, and now we're going to get to the other bums on the panel. So, Don, why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you and what you've been up to, sir?
Yeah, the best thing to do is just follow me on Twitter, which is the Don_KTR. You can also follow me on Xbox Live if you want a game. I notice a lot of people will follow, but they're always so afraid to send me a game invite. Just send me a game invite if you notice I have the same game as you, and I actually will play with you when it comes to that. So.
The Don will play with you guys.
I knew as soon as I said, I'm like, fuck.
The
Don will play with you. Mrs. KTR might have an issue, but the Don will play with you guys.
The Don will play with you, but Xbox won't.
What? Dude, when was the last time you sent me a game invite?
Well, the thing is, we try to, but all you hear is just Destiny, and
I know.
Can't pull you off that game. It's just how it is.
Well, guys,
that's why people don't like the game as much, because they can't play with you anymore. You just got lost in the Destiny world.
If you guys decide to play Destiny, I am there for you.
I did. I sent you an invite earlier today,
Dude,
but you
and
said
the first
no.
time we went in, we had fun. The second time, I don't know.
No. Let me clarify. You had fun. I showed up.
Dude,
Just wait till that DLC drops. You won't see Xbox for
guys, I heard
anywhere.
the smile on his face. Don't let him sway you guys. He had fun the first time we got back in. Yeah, you can. You can hear, like, dude. I'm not even getting into it. I'm not.
In Bot's world, he thinks he can hear smiles.
All right. Well, hey, yo, Predator, the guy who thinks
yes,
he has
Bot. Go ahead.
the winning gameplay for this episode, which I don't think so. I think I'm gonna win. And by the way, the poll is up. Just go to @xbot448 on Twitter. It is pinned right to the profile. Go ahead and vote for the best gameplay.
Did you put me as never will win Otter?
No, I put dark. I put Dark Otter Miss.
Who's got the zombie game up?
Wait,
I'll give you a hint. It's not Xbox.
Look in the top right, and you'll see the icon to whose gameplay it is.
I don't see the name. Is that Dark Optimus?
That's Predator.
Yeah. I'm voting for Predator.
Yo, Pred, why don't you let people
Everyone
know?
should vote for.
Pred, let everybody know what you're up to and how they can get a hold of you to talk games, man.
Pretty much on everybody's podcast. Predator_H2OS on Xbox, PlayStation 4 on Steam. Catch me here next week. I should be here. Nothing going on, nothing planned. I did a podcast with Boom on with Breakfast at Boom on Friday. So make sure you guys check that out as well. So like, follow, subscribe, and make sure y'all hit the like button on the chat.
Wow, hold on. We got 3 votes already, and all 3 were for Predator. So that was Super
No.
Sonic, that was Predator, and
Nope. Nope. Then there's a new tally. There is a second place, and it's Dark Optimus.
You guys hate me. You guys. Yo, well, speaking of the angry otter himself, yo, Dark, I know you were under the weather. Like you said, you're sick and everything. I do appreciate, you still coming on the show, you sharing your opinions, and doing one hell of a job. Why don't you let people know what you're up to throughout the week and how people can get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live with the same name. You guys can check me out on the TSGP, that is the Saltiest Gaming Podcast, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You guys can always find me here every Saturday on the next podcast hanging out with these guys.
Nice. Did he say every Saturday?
I did say every Saturday.
He is the most part-time, full-timer here, and he said every Saturday. So
I like to keep it consistent. Okay, Bot? Leave me alone.
Yeah, we did get a yell from him. I will consider that a yell. And as usual, guys, shout out to everybody who hung out with us live. And again, shout out to everybody who checks out the show afterwards. You guys are absolutely amazing. You give us the motivation to come here every Saturday and to give you the most entertaining gaming podcast we possibly can. I guess I'll just end it the way I end it every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Shout out to Intro Media.
Intro Media. Nice. Yeah.